Co-creating impact.
Hello there. I'm Lori with Co-Creating Impact, and it's timesunshine.com. We are here back with Elisa, our friend and co-host. She was our very first guest, and she has the blog called Thoughts from My Crowded Mind, and she's going to be coming to talk about the thoughts she has today. Hello, Elisa.
Hi, Lori. Thanks for having me again today. I really appreciate it. Thoughts from my crowded mind. This is something that we talked about last time when I started my blog, which was just in August of 2020. And I have a lot of thoughts in my head lately, and sometimes they get a little convoluted. And focus is an issue that I tend to have a challenge with. And so going into this today, I really wasn't sure what I was going to discuss, but what I want to share really is about the perseverance and being able to just, no matter how muddled everything is, that we continue to persevere and keep trying and get off of that. If you fall off the horse and you get right back on it, don't stop. And I think that's where I am, to be honest with you. I really think that everything that I've been writing about, that I've been reflecting upon, that I've been sharing, all has to do with the fact that there's always another opportunity to go ahead and try again. And I think that's really where I stand today as far as my thoughts. I don't want to give up. I want to be able to, keep going on any level that is. The one thing that has stood out for me is that during this latter part of my age, I'm in my 50s, and I'm owning myself more. I'm taking care of my mental well-being more. I think 2020 taught us something really huge. It was all about being able to do a lot of self-reflection, right?
And how are you doing that now that you're older? And does that look different than when you did it when you were younger?
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I just lived life. I
Yeah.
didn't really. And this is a recent revelation to me, because I always said, okay, live life to the fullest. Today is the only day that we have. And I've always kind of had that mindset. But the difference is that be intentional about it. Do it on purpose, and make sure that you're not putting yourself aside for other reasons. Don't add too much to your plate, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I tend to do as well.
And setting more boundaries and
Setting
still constantly setting boundaries, no matter what age, with new relationships and old relations, because we're constantly changing and moving and growing and expanding.
Exactly. And I think the boundary setting has been one of the focuses I've had. And I think that's really important, because if you don't set those boundaries, if it's something that doesn't serve you, and I don't want it to sound like it's selfish. I want it to sound like I'm taking care of me so that I'm better for others. I'm not going to do something that's going to hurt myself, and then it just doesn't have any impact with the rest of the people in my life. So being able to protect my energy, I suppose, is where I come from. Being able to say, okay, I can deal with this for a little bit, but I'm not going to stay there too long, because it's just going to drain me. And if it drains me, then I'm just exhausted and I'm a hot mess.
And
I
we can
can't
no
do it.
longer serve others. When we can't serve
Exactly.
ourselves well enough, how are we to serve others? And
Exactly.
that's what I'm hearing from you. That's perfect. And also making the decision to maybe manifest a new part of who we are,
Yeah,
and being okay with that, and being settled
exactly.
enough, and looking into our own mental health. And I know that you are always looking for ways of resources and tools that help you with your mental health. If you want to speak on that a little bit.
Sure. I mean, one of the things I've noticed about myself is that I really need that time, that quiet time, which is funny. I never was like that before. I liked a lot of stimulation when I was younger. But as I've gotten older, and especially over the last year or so, I need that quiet. I love the solace, and I love being able to just listen to, like right now I could hear birds singing outside, and connecting with nature is a huge one. Um, Going out in crack of dawn and catching that sunrise is such a feeling of, it's like a rejuvenation. And so for me, those are the tools that help me set my mind in a better space. And if those are interrupted, I'm a, mm, I'm not a happy person.
Right, because you're giving yourself that time, and it's precious time that you're giving yourself, and you're acknowledging that, and you're also living in gratitude,
Yes.
to see and to appreciate the wilderness and the birds and things of that
Mhm.
nature, which is amazing because I'm I love to be outside, you know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love your daily walk videos.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I do my sunrise pictures, and lately my birds. And it's just, uh, I think being able to connect with nature is something that really, we're part of it. We are part
Mhm.
of it. And whatever little bit I can grab onto, that makes me feel good. And if I feel good,
Absolutely.
I could go on for the rest of the day,
Yeah.
even if there's bumps along the way. So, um, something that comes to mind is that we've had this thing that we have to go, go, go. Our society is all about go, go, go. We got to do this. We got to accomplish this.
Busy, busy,
Our
busy.
expectations are high. We keep striving for something that maybe is not what is true and to ourselves, not the real goal. The real goal is to just, I don't know, live on this earth and be good and be
Mhm.
kind, and help others. And it doesn't have to necessarily be financial. It could just be on a friendship basis and on a spiritual basis. So, um, the one of the things that I did post in my blog was retraining our brain, and that has to do with changing our mindset. you
Yes,
know
unlearning those old belief systems. Yes, girl.
yeah, like, I shared this with my mom because she's definitely a little more old school, and she just says, well, this is how it's always been and this is how it's going to be. I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. And then, in fact, we can go ahead and pivot all the way around, take a 180 basically, from one spot to the next, and say, all right, this isn't serving me anymore. This isn't making me unhappy. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. And I'm going to train my brain to keep thinking that way, so that eventually I am going to act that way. I'm going to feel that way. And I'm going to be able to, like you've mentioned, manifest what we really want.
Hmm.
And so that's something I'm working on.
And it doesn't take a huge affirmation. We could just
Mhm.
be stretching because we sat too long and say, gosh, I'm very, very smart. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
instead of how we've heard so many times how stupid we may have been, I did,
Yes.
some people haven't, I
Self-doubt,
guess.
though.
But
I
yeah,
like those negative words. And we were saying this before. Should,
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
was the should. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Mm-mm. That is so, it puts us in a bad spot already. And it
Yeah.
doesn't help us to move on. And
Hmm.
it definitely pigeonholes us.
We have to put ourselves in the I am. I am walking today.
Yes.
I not should, I coulda, woulda. I am walking today. What time will that be? And putting ourselves in that action step. And we can't get there unless we are in a place where we make the decision to consciously make the decision to change, to make that decision to say, this is what I need to do in order to get what I want. And in order to get what I want, I am able to serve others. And trying to create, a lot of times we can't achieve what we want unless we know who we are.
Mm,
Trying to create outside of us when we haven't looked within it
yes.
is I think a huge mistake, because we are go-getters. We're going to go, 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 go. And that word fake it to before you
Fake it
make
till
it
you
or
make
whatever.
it.
Like, no, that's a lot of freaking work.
Yeah.
If you are already doing the work
And it's
inside,
hurtful. It's hurtful.
Yes. Yeah.
And it
It's
doesn't
not,
make you feel good.
and it's not authentic.
No,
Yeah.
that's a huge one for me is authenticity and being true to yourself.
Hmm.
And when you are that way, people will see that. People will just gravitate to you just because they see that you're an authentic person and
Right.
that you're not faking it, that you're true. And, and then if you're the kind of person like me who wants to help, then I'm going to get those type of people in my life.
Yeah, you're going to attract what you want to
Yeah, the
attract in
law
that
of
sense.
attraction,
The
apparently,
law of
right?
attraction. Yeah. And it's also, if you want to achieve something new, sometimes you have to become something new, not fake it till you make it, but just reinventing and taking those old belief systems and
Mhm.
putting them to the side and reinventing who you are because of what you want is different than what it was two,
Yes,
5, 10 years, whatever, because
yes.
we're growing.
That is like super, yeah, on point. Reinventing yourself
Mm,
and in a good way. I mean, it doesn't mean that your old self was bad. It's
yeah.
just that you were a different person back then.
Hmm.
And so, like I said, I think I mentioned in the beginning, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my latter part of my life, and I'm really actually enjoying this self discovery and being able to share my journey with others and learn from everybody else, like from you and from other people, podcasters that I've been listening to. And it's just been such a refreshing thing to, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just, it's
It's
just
you're
so,
like me, like learning is my favorite, from the Elf
yeah,
movies. Miley's my
learning,
favorite, like learning's my
learning is my
favorite.
favorite.
Yeah. And I always like to bring up Maya Angelou, the great Maya Angelou, when you know better, you do better. And I think that's
Yes,
how we're moving forward when we
right.
know something, we apply it if we can,
Yeah.
and we are able to do better. And I've learned so much from you, from your blog
Oh,
and from
thank
being
you.
on this podcast. And you're just an amazing soul. And I love the way that
Oh,
you're growing into yourself. I love the way you put it. It's beautiful.
thank you. I
Hmm.
appreciate that. Um, and sometimes I don't even think I'm trying to purposely do it. It's just what's working for me right now. And yeah, it's a good feeling in that aspect.
Hmm.
So, and I'm noticing the birds flittering over here, and I have this tree on my deck that is a Christmas tree that we just plopped on there. And now the birds just flock there. It's so much fun to watch. And so, yeah, I'm just kind
Beautiful.
of giddy over that stuff.
It's good. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. It's the small things in life. That's the gratitude that gets us the good attitude to move us forward. And
Gratitude, attitude.
yeah, gratitude is attitude, gratitude. And what impact are you wanting to make with this podcast and moving forward? Because we're talking about doing uh, once a month, possibly Tuesday, once a month. I don't know, second, third Tuesday or something, and we'll put it all over the podcast. But just to have you on um, continuously, just to talk and open your mind up, because you do have a lot of thoughts. You're a valuable asset that I really enjoy having you on. So, what's the impact that you are wishing to create here on this co-creating impact
It's a
podcast?
great, deep question.
There he is.
Loaded question.
Yeah, it
There are
is.
so many things. There are many things that are dear to my heart that I really want to bring awareness to. One of them is our mental health and taking care of that. That's just as important as our physical health, if not better, because our mind is super strong and actually can affect our physical body. And so our mental well-being to me is extremely important and something close to my heart. And also maybe diving into some of the other things like I will say survivor or survivor of ADHD. So still trying to navigate that part too. And so those type of topics would be great to, bring awareness to, but then there's other things too that I know that I could share
Yeah, and
just
that's what I
because.
love. We don't have to have a niche, and that's what I love about this podcast. We're able to talk about everything and anything, and I
Yeah.
really appreciate you coming on and doing this with us, Elisa. Thank you
Thank
very,
you.
very
Thank
much.
you. Oh, I appreciate it.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Brought to you by breaktherage.org and itstimesunshine.com, finding resources for health and mental wellness.